When you buy tickets, how many do you buy?
Oh, man, you're going to get me in trouble with everybody.
Yeah. Don't you feel like it's worth... this is what I said to my son. The chances of us winning... I don't play the lottery normally.
Right.
But the high payout, to me, makes it worth taking a shot.
It's a $10 donation to What If.
Yeah,
you know?
That's exactly it. So $10 is what you spent?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's all I'm willing to admit to.
No, you could have said
$10.
You could have said $2.
No one's going to be honest today.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to be.
I spent my money on far worse.
Do you know that you can... yeah, that's true. Do you know, I didn't know this, but you can take your old tickets in, and they scan it, and those numbers pop up again? Because I thought about this. If you use... Say you do a quick pick, and they say, don't do a quick pick because the quick pick numbers don't come up. Well, eventually, those quick pick numbers might come up.
Sure. I mean, it's supposed to be a random number generator.
Right.
You know,
right.
So random is random.
So random is
Correct.
random. So why not have one ticket that you continuously go back in and have them put those numbers in? Because you use it one time for a big lottery, and then you never use it again. Well, how would you know? I don't ever go back and check. What if those numbers pop up in 4 or 5 lotteries down the road? Right? Just thinking about it. That's all I'm saying.
Yourself.
You'd be kicking yourself.
You
Yeah.
know what I think? Somebody said this to me yesterday because they were asking me how it works, and I don't know exactly how it works, but I thought something was interesting, and I wish they would do this. If you bought a ticket for last week's drawing, nobody wins. You didn't win. Why can't your numbers that you bought last week still be valid? Almost like if you're at like a stag party, right? And they're drawing numbers for 50-50. Well, Johnny left. He had the winning ticket, so we're going to draw a different number.
Yeah.
But you still have the same bank of tickets.
The Comets
basically.
have kind of played around with that a little bit, where they'll have, they'll do carryover.
Carry the 50-50.
But what I'm saying here is you could take the tickets from last night's drawing, and you could play another $10 with those same numbers. You don't have to write the numbers down. You could use those quick pick numbers. Just hand the ticket to the clerk, and she scans it, and it brings those numbers right back up again. You play them again.
Isn't that what they call the sunk cost fallacy, where you just keep throwing good money after bad?
Yeah, or the slot machine. It's the same thing. But no matter what happens, the minute you walk away, somebody else sits down and they win. That's what blows about this. That's what gambling is bad, says my wife.
My grandfather has composition notebooks filled with past winning numbers.
Oh.
And I don't know when he's going to, calculate or formulate the statistics. I don't know what his method is, and I don't want to give it out even if I did, because he'd be upset with that. But he swears that he's got a method of keeping track of all the numbers, all the winning numbers, to maybe one day have the winning number.
I wonder if winning numbers have come up. Winning numbers have come up more than once. Also, how many times has your grandfather won?
I don't know that he's ever played.
Well, okay. Really?
So he's really doing his homework, and he's going to wait for the opportune moment.
Wait for that one day. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Naegele, tell me about this beer. It comes in a big can, a tall can.
Yeah, 16-ounce, tall boy. You've had this beer before, but this is a nice fresh batch of it, and it kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about. But this is Good Nature Annie. They're double IPA.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got a little kick to it, about 9%, and very hoppy. And very fresh, so you can really, really taste the hops and especially smell the hops in this. But while we're talking about their anniversary, they're celebrating their 7th anniversary this year, and it's been a very big year for Good Nature Brewing Company. They've opened up their new tap room and restaurant down there. Had a great summer, aside from the intermittent weather. But
right. Where's it located again?
It's right down on Route 12 south of Hamilton, just past Colgate University, past the field house there on the right-hand side.
Okay, so it would basically be in Hamilton.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's right on the Shenango Canal. They've got hiking and biking trails that link it to downtown Hamilton. Their tap room is still open on the square there in Hamilton. And
very hoppy.
Oh, yeah, it's a
great
good beer.
And 9%. I do have and maybe it's just mental for me, but there is a difference. I don't think it's not mental. I'm sorry, it's not mental. It's real. Mm-hmm. There is a difference between draft, bottle, and can. And I'm into a can phase right now.
You're right there with the rest of the industry. Cans are blowing up right now. Everybody seems to want their beer in a can, and it's it protects it from light. It's completely hermetically sealed, so reduces the chance of oxidation and just keeps the beer better tasting.
And
I bought 5 Billy beer cans.
Oh boy,
in Balkville.
Talk about bad investments. What did they? They brought those there to throw at raccoons. You know?
They did. They did.
You bought them.
And actually, no, I didn't buy them. I caught them each time, and I really saved a raccoon. So,
What'd you pay for 5 Billy beer cans?
I think my wife. I walked away. My wife, because I don't like to haggle. She's tough. Oh, it's like, well, would you take a nickel? Because I'm not giving you a dime for that.
Well,
I think she might have paid for 5 of them $2.
Okay. You know how you wind up with 5 Billy beer cans, too? When you have the 6-pack for 2 decades in your closet, and you're like, I wonder what that tastes like. That's how you have 5.
That was one that the
that was an estate sale, by the way. The poor guy didn't make it.
They don't like to.
Oh, boy.
The Mats don't like to talk about that beer. They were not proud of that moment.
No, well, Billy wasn't exactly.
No, I know.
He didn't throw the most shining recommendation.
My feeling though is you take the deal. The deal is the deal. That was nationwide. It was big. It was political.
I've heard this story anecdotally, so I'm not really sure if it's true. But apparently, and this was before my time anyway, but when Billy Carter came to Utica to do his little press thing with the Billy beer, one of the reporters asked him, "What does it taste? Or how do you like your beer?" And he goes, "It tastes like a wet dog."
Lovely.
Yes.
What was your?
Well, no, I was just going to say we were talking about the cans, and I'm noticing a lot more that they're going to the 16-ounce cans. So, like when you go to drink just a regular can of beer, it seems almost miniature. It's
Like you got Andre the Giant hands.
Well, and this is 9% alcohol, so it's up there.
Yeah, that's an interesting packaging change, too. For a while, every brewery was putting out the 22-ounce bottles, and those were very, very popular for around a decade. And your beers that were really high gravity that cost a lot to make, that was a way to get them out there without having a $15 or $16 six-pack on the shelf.
Okay.
You could have a $6 or $7 or $8 bottle, 22-ounce bottle, and it was enough to split with another person and really try a lot of beers. But now these 4-packs of 16-ounce cans have really taken over that slot in the store.
All right, again, this is available all over the place.
Yep, absolutely. Year-round, all over the place. And this was their second anniversary beer 8 years ago. Or, no, Jesus, they're only 7 years old, 5 years ago.
Okay.
And they have their new anniversary beer out. It's called IC5.
Okay.
And it's a great beer to try.
One more thing quickly. The shelf life on a local, what do we call these beers? I'm sorry. Craft beer. On a local craft beer. Is that less than your...
No, definitely not. But you still want to drink your beer as soon after purchase as possible in most cases. But no, I mean they're canning and bottling under the same industry standards as any other brewery. So
listen, we're going to be having a fight party at my house on Saturday. These guys are all getting year-old beer.
Well, it's to both of you. The reason I asked is because you have about a dozen beers over your shoulder from a wide variety.
Ones.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. Those will be
I was going
fine.
to tell you to bring them Saturday night, but I'm wondering, is there mold growing in some? Because some of
No,
those are over a year old.
There's nothing that can harm you.
You can get particles, though. You can get particles.
Yeah, that's some of the proteins and stuff like that will precipitate out of the beer. That's called a beer that broke. So everything in a beer bottle is homogenized to a degree. If you overheat it or freeze it or just leave it for a long period of time, eventually something will happen. That
I had one when you
I
were
poured
moving.
beers
I had
through
a beer, and it was
Particle-y.
Yeah,
I've poured beers through a coffee filter before.
Sometimes,
smart.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Sure.
All right, Naegele, good stuff. Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Cheers.
Bill in New Hartford with a question on Naegele before I let you go. Don't leave yet. William, you're on with Naegele.
Okay, good morning on Naegele. Do they still make a Fort Schuyler beer?
I'm sorry. Do they still
make
a Fort
Schuyler?
No, they don't.
I saw the cans in Bouckville, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he's gone.
He was so upset by that.
I'm sorry.
How long has it been since they made Fort Schuyler beer? That was its own brewery, right? Fort Schuyler Brewery?
Yes, it was.
In Utica.
Correct.
Yeah.
At one time, Utica had, and I'm going to butcher this, and I know just the person who's going to call me on it, but I want to say that at one time, Utica had 5 operating breweries.
Wow.
Oneida, Fort Schuyler, Eagle, FX Matt, and one other I can't remember.
Right. Big brewing town at the time. Of course, we had the hops
I think
here.
most cities were big brewing cities.
Yeah.
Everything was far more localized.
More localized. All right, thank you, Naegele. Appreciate it.
Cheers.